Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now,
good morning and welcome to The Splash Live. Good to be back in the studios. Dave Scott here in our Civic Center TV studios, joining you all across West Bloomfield and wherever you happen to be, whether you're in the Greater West Bloomfield area or just thinking about being in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. First day of spring, the first full day of spring. How about that? We'll get to that and more in a minute. First of all, let's just say good morning and welcome. You're watching The Splash Live. It's part of 90 minutes of live television, local television, each and every day at all of our outlets. Tyler Keefe being here at 10 o'clock with a mega cast, and together an hour and a half of very local information for you. Easy to watch across all of our many outlets, and that includes cable TV, where we've been for over 20 years. If you're in the Greater West Bloomfield area and you're a Comcast subscriber, you could tune in to Channel 15. You'll find us there. If you're an AT&T subscriber, you'll find us on Channel 99 in a menu system with all the other community channels. Go in there, look for your community, and you will find us. Or if you live in Birmingham or something, you're going to find some other channel, but they might have something cool too. Either way, AT&T Channel 99. Easy to watch us on social media. You can also watch us on CivicCenterTV.com. A little out of practice this morning. CivicCenterTV.com is where you will find us on the web. Full high-definition video looks absolutely great. Plus, you have all the other items that are on our website that you're going to want to check out, and that includes all of our archives, a lot of other really compelling video and information, not only from the last couple of days, but going back 10-plus years. CivicCenterTV.com. Now, social media. We're available for you this morning on Facebook. We're available on YouTube Live. Search for Civic Center TV. And then we're also available for you each and every day on the radio. We broadcast the show on our local radio station, 89.3 Lakes FM. So wherever you happen to find us, thank you very much for taking an opportunity to be with us this morning. Let's take a look at our weather around the Greater West Bloomfield area. And how about this? It is really not all that bad. 33 degrees kick off today. And looky there, 55 degrees will be our high. The winds won't be blowing quite as much as they have the last couple of days. It is actually going to be very spring-like on this first day of spring. 55 are high, 40 are low, plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Enjoy it because a little precip over the next couple of days as some clouds move in, but the good news is temperatures will be remaining in the 50s. So really good news. And as I said, first full day spring. Spring began yesterday at about 5 o'clock, and it is that exciting time of the year. I'm not talking about the opening day of Tiger Baseball. We have a bigger opening day in Kegel Harbor. It's when BB's Custard opens, and that is about 12 days to the opening of the 2023 season. Time to dust off your BB's Custard Rewards card and come on in and stop in. April 1st, they say, is their opening day. They're looking forward to seeing you. And whether it's BB's or some other ice cream store or some hot dog stand or something you like to go to in the summertime, there's a number of them along Woodward Avenue and all over Metro Detroit. But wherever you like to go, it sure is nice and a good sign of spring when all those establishments open back up. West Bloomfield Park's also getting in the spring mode with a very colorful picture here that is on their Facebook page. I don't know if that's reality. I don't know anywhere where there's leaves on the tree and the flowers are blooming quite yet, but it sure is inspirational and gets us all feeling like spring. Congratulations to the West Bloomfield School District Jazz Ensemble. They hit the road, and if you're into music and you are in Metro Detroit, there's one place you got to go, and that is the Motown Museum, Hitsville, USA. I, in fact, had an opportunity to walk through the studios for the first time ever just a couple of weeks ago, and it is absolutely amazing. There you see the jazz ensemble They had an opportunity to go down to the Motown Museum just this last Friday. Students enjoyed a fulfilling afternoon touring and learning about the original recording studio, the rich history of Detroit music, and many of the legends, including the Jackson 5, Supremes, Berry Gordy, and many more. And a huge shout out, they say, to Jesse Sachs for working so hard to provide a wonderful learning opportunity for the students. It really is amazing, especially for me, to go into the Motown Museum because, you know, I had the opportunity to work in radio on the very back end of the Motown. I'm not quite that old. But I did work in radio in the 70s, and going into Hitsville, USA, and the technology they have there just kind of reminded me of some of the old radio stations that we used to work at. So really an amazing tour, and I'm telling you, it's still all set up with a lot of the original stuff. I think they even have the original vending machines in there, and if you've not seen the Hitsville movie, you really should watch that. Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson tell the whole story, and they do most of that. Movie, and then I got in the studio and it's them up, made them part of a campus. They're building a big theater right behind the old Hayes. Like I did not too long. It was so he tells that whole story, tells about uh, uh, that whole area developed with a great presentation. They expected the library, and about 150 people showed. Paul Wilbur, I had a good chance to chat with him, is really an amazing guy. Has a great history himself with the auto companies here in Detroit. He was a senior executive, and he's a great storyteller. He got all dressed up for it. It was fantastic. So we're going to take a break. We'll come right back. We'll have a chance to talk to Paul and have a little conversation about his amazing house, and you get a glimpse of what you will be able to see when we get the entire production all put together. It'll be on Civic Center TV before the week is over. So we'll be right back. It's all coming up much more right here on the Splash Live. I'm Dave Scott. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back, Dave Scott, Civic Center TV and Splash Live. Joined today by Paul Wilbur of Pine Lake, right in our own backyard. Paul is joining me here at the West Bloomfield Township Library, where he recently made a presentation that you'll be able to see right here on Civic Center TV. Paul, what's it all about?
Well, when you restore a home, and we have been restoring this home for about 18 years, you learn a lot about the community. You learn a lot about the city that you live in, and quite frankly, I've just got some good historical facts that I thought other people would enjoy.
So how old is the home that people see behind you?
This home was built in 1925.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have something in common. I grew up in a over 100-year-old house in West Bloomfield. It doesn't look as good as this does. Talk about why you wanted to restore it and just some of your thoughts as you were preparing for that project.
Well, when we bought the home, it was pretty run down, and a lot of things were overgrown, and a lot of things weren't really up to speed. But the beauty of the home just stunned us. We were really captured by the area as they drive down Pine Lake Road, and we just kind of said to myself, my wife and I and our family, let's take this project on and see if we can redo it.
So clearly you were going for something a little bit amazing.
The roof that was on the house when we bought it was actually an asphalt shingle roof. And I knew it wasn't right. And so we kind of, my dad owns a construction company. So I started getting up there fiddling with it, and underneath it we found this beautiful cedar shake roof. And it was originally blue. And so I said, oh heck, we were going to redo the roof to make it look original, and we'll try to get as close to the color as we can.
So what do people say to you when they run into you and they have not seen your house in the past and they see it? What's the first thing they say to you about this home?
Oh, they think I'm nuts. The house has more names than any home I've ever seen. It's called the Gingerbread House. It's called the Smurf House. I have a little girl in the community that calls it the Frosted Cupcake House.
You know, when I thought of it, you ever been to Charlevoix?
Sure.
It kind of reminds me, it's different, but a little bit of some of the mushroom houses up there too.
And it is a similar construction, although this pattern is very unique to Michigan as well. There's some architectural elements of it that really make it kind of, well, you have a hard time going by the house and not smiling.
Did you have an architect do all this? Is this your plan, or how did you get there on
No,
this project?
this is part of the whole process. We went back to the original architect, who was William H. Cooney, really popular in Detroit, this guy. He built over 500 homes in Grosse Pointe and Indian Village and all those areas. But he constructed it, and we reconstructed the home off of original photographs we have from 1925.
And you said you learned not only about the home, but also about the community. Tell me what you were thinking about.
Well, I mean, everybody that lives in Pine Lake today, they ask questions like, hey, I heard once upon a time there was a hotel on the lake. Well, yes, there was. And I have pictures and can tell that story. I heard there was a restaurant there. There was an old Charlie's Crab there. My grandmother used to take me to Charlie's Crab. Well, yes, there was, and I have photos of it. So as you live in this area and in this community, you learn a lot about the area that you live. Well, I've just been doing so much historical work on the house that I'm bumping into all this other information. So today I compiled it all into a presentation to share with the community.
I ate at that Chuck Muir restaurant when I was a kid.
It's great.
It tells you how old I am, but yeah, no, that was back in the day. And we weren't the kind of family that went to a lot of fancy dinners. But back in the day, if you were going to have a fancy dinner right here in the area and you lived in old school West Bloomfield, you'd go to the Chuck Muir restaurant on Pine Lake.
Absolutely. And I think many people even today miss it. So this is a little bit of a nostalgia to look back on maybe some of the things that we've lost. We've lost the Interlaken Hotel. We've lost the hotel that was once even on Orchard Lake. A lot of people don't know these stories, though, and I'm trying to do this to reach people that want to learn more about the area. The first schoolhouse, 1885, showing up at the corner of, you drive by it, if you drive down Long Lake or Middle Belt, you drive by it every day, but you don't know that that's what it was.
Well,
So it's just fun. It's fun.
Well, this area certainly did transition to a metropolitan suburban community from a resort community, in the earlier days.
It did.
And a farming community before that.
And farming before that, and even Native Americans before that. So it's gone through a lot of transitions. Today, my favorite story is in the Henry Ford era, this was up north.
Right.
The West Bloomfield area lakes, that's as far as they could get, and they were exhausted when they got here from downtown Detroit. And whether it was Orchard Lake, Pine Lake, Cass Lake, Sylvan, this was up north, and this was made really the area so attractive was all the Great Lakes.
Well, and I imagine that when Henry Ford, the first, was selling all those Model Ts, and there were roads then, bumpy dirt roads that weren't muddy, right?
Muddy, ugly.
That he was probably pretty happy to have some place like Pine Lake for people to be able to get in their car and drive to.
And he was one of the early founders of the Pine Lake, the Auto Club of Detroit, which we now call the Pine Lake Country Club. He was there. He was up here. He was in the area socializing with a lot of people. So it kind of brings some of that auto baron, old country estate back to life. And it's fun for everybody to learn about that.
Do your neighbors like the house?
I don't know. I've never really asked them.
Well, I hope you don't mind me asking in that way, but it's not your average neighborhood home in the West Bloomfield area.
No, certainly it's not. It's really, I call it an auto baron estate. It's absolutely from the auto baron era. It's built around the same time as Meadowbrook Hall and some of the beautiful homes around the Detroit area. But yeah, it's not normal.
Well, it's not, and that's what makes it spectacular. And Paul, it is amazing, and I'm looking forward to watching your program here on Civic Center TV.
Thank you.
We'll learn all about this project and the community, right?
Exactly, and that's why I'm in 1900s garb. I have my top hat on, and even though I'm inside, I'm leaving it on.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for sharing your history and information of the Pine Lake area with us.
It's fun.
You can watch it right here, Civic Center TV. Go to civiccentertv.com. We'll have the whole program as it was presented right here at the West Bloomfield Library. Dave Scott from the West Bloomfield Library. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more on the Splash Live in just a moment.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott here in our Civic Center studios, and Paul Wilbur. What an amazing guy he is. So charitable with his time and a huge investment in that home. And I wish I had more time this morning to show you the amazing restoration that he did. When you watch the presentation on Civic Center TV, you're going to see the original pictures, and then you're going to see the pictures of his home as it has been upgraded and improved. And I'll tell you what, it is a very historical representation of the home, modernized a little bit just here and there. So I hope you enjoy that. That presentation is so much more than just his house, though. It is a look at the development of Pine Lake and therefore the greater West Bloomfield area. Check it out, coming up on Civic Center TV. We'll have it there before the week is over, and you'll be able to watch that on all of our outlets. My guess is this will end up being one of the most popular shows, and will instantly go to the very top of our top 5 videos once we get that thing on the air. So it's been a big week for history for me. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to spend some time in Lansing. and I was at the all-new Heritage Hall. Now, Heritage Hall is a new facility and building that is adjacent and actually right on the campus of the state capitol. I think they kind of built the Heritage Hall. It's kind of at a lower level, and I think they built that where maybe some of the parking lots were in the past. Absolutely amazing. It is a fantastic facility that is there. There's meeting space in there. There is a historical area in there, and it was a great place yesterday for the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency to celebrate their 10th anniversary. And I was just probably like you, Michigan Veteran Affairs Agency. If you're not a veteran, what does that agency actually do? What have they been doing over the past 10 years? I had a chance yesterday to catch up with their director, Adam Hollier, and he told us all about the MVAA.
So the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency is celebrating its 10-year anniversary today. It was a law passed to allow Michigan to better serve service members, helping them take advantage of their benefits, advocating for them, something that we've really taken foothold of, right? So making sure that we have more employers that are willing to hire veterans, making sure that schools better support the unique challenges and needs of service members, and now really expanding those kind of coverages to the families of people who serve, because we know that when you serve in uniform, your family is also serving, from all the different times that they move to the challenges that you have, being able to vote, being able to show up, being able to do all those other kind of things that the military requires of not just that person in uniform, but of the entire family. And we're committed to making sure that we support that entire family unit.
And I haven't had the pleasure of being in this amazing facility.
Yeah, it's only a year old. Not even quite a year old.
Yeah,
so
talk about it.
Yeah, so I used to be a state senator, and so we finally got Heritage Hall here set up so that we could do these kind of things at the Capitol. So the school groups were able to come down, so that people were able to take advantage of the beautiful and rich history of our state's capital, and that we had a space that was possible to really take advantage of great momentous occurrences and to use more of the People's House and the People's Chamber.
Adam Hollier there, the director of the Michigan Veteran Affairs Agency, and that amazing building. Get a chance to get there. Now, I recall from going to the Capitol when I was a kid and just the other business I've done there over the years, that before they renovated the Capitol, there was an area where there was a lot of these artifacts and old flags and all kinds of historical memorabilia, if you will. But it's not there at the Capitol anymore. Some of it is here. Some of the things they have set up there were at various places around Lansing. So they've got a great building. While I was there yesterday, there were 3, 4, 5 student tours that came through. So a great place for those student tours when they're going off to the Capitol to see some of Michigan's history. And it was a great day yesterday to honor our veterans. I was there because of my work with the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association, who was there working with some veterans to serve lunch. So it was kind of nice to be there and bring you along. I also had an opportunity yesterday when I was there to catch up with John Ryder, who is a friend of the people I work with, but I've never had an opportunity to meet John. John is the executive director of the Michigan Heroes Museum, and that is in Frankenmuth. And maybe you've been there, maybe you've not. I've not had an opportunity. And after meeting John yesterday, I'm really eager to get out there. But John had set up, for all the veterans that were there, some of the historical information and stuff that he has, and what he brought specifically from his museum were uniforms of some of the most influential Michiganders through our history. Some names that you'll definitely know. And so John takes us through here. I got a quick clip from John. He takes us through and shows us these military uniforms and tells us who they were associated with. Let's roll that clip.
Absolutely. So Brigadier General Fred Green, he was Adjutant General of the Michigan Forces while on Cuba during the Spanish-American War. Lieutenant Wilbur Brucker, he was in the Spanish-American War. He also fought in World War I. He became governor from 1931 to 1932. And then after World War II, President Eisenhower made him Secretary of the Department of the Army. Then we got Lieutenant Commander G. Mellon Williams, again, very famous in Michigan history. Private John Swainson, Governor Swainson, who lost his life, or legs, I should say, over in France. Staff Sergeant Bill Milliken, who was a door gunner on a B-24 Liberator. On his 25th mission, he got some flak in his chest, and he spent 10 days in the hospital. As he's in the hospital, he ends up telling the people in the hospital he's got to get back to the front lines. Just amazing stuff. Specialist Louis Dodak, former Speaker of the House of the state of Michigan. He was in Vietnam. And then Sergeant Ryan Friedrichs, the husband of our current Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson.
Who we saw there, she was speaking at the event, and then she took a lot of extra time, as you saw in that B-roll, to come over and take a look at her husband's uniform. John didn't mention it, but you certainly recognize the names of those that have served there, 3 of them that were governors of the state of Michigan. So really interesting to see that display. Looking forward to getting out to Frankenmuth and seeing what John has there at the Michigan Heroes Museum. And awful nice of him to take a moment or two of this yesterday. So kudos to all the veterans. Every day we get any opportunity we get to thank them for their service, we want to do so. And it was good to be there. And if you get a chance, I would recommend next time you're in Lansing with a little bit of extra time, get out and take a look at that amazing facility. Really nice, called Heritage Hall. There's one skylight in there too, right in the main area, and you can look up and you can see the Capitol Dome. Beautiful, $40 million project the state put together. It's yours, so get out and enjoy it. All right, let's get back to the business that is our show, and that is talking about things that are right here at home. West Bloomfield Schools, if you haven't been on their website recently, I always encourage you to get out, take a look. West Bloomfield School District, their theme is Portrait of a Graduate. That's their theme on the website. And that theme is all about seeking to move beyond pushing students to attain certain grades or academic milestones and focus on setting students up for success. So as a part of what we're doing now at Civic Center TV, when other organizations other than us put together these really remarkable videos, and everybody is doing it now, we like to play them. So let's play right now the video from the West Bloomfield School District's site from their homepage, their most recent Portrait of a Graduate video, and it will tell the story a lot better than I just did.
West Bloomfield School District's mission is to develop socially responsible citizens empowered to meet the challenges of our ever-advancing global society. Our legacy of excellence is exemplified by our 10 nationally recognized schools throughout the area that all consist of a culturally diverse student body. Through the new Portrait of a Graduate initiative, West Bloomfield School District aims to guide students through 4 key characteristics, all beginning with the letter C: critical thinker, communicator, collaborator, and contributor. Our belief is that these 4 key attributes will set students on a path for success, no matter what the future holds for them. Students are encouraged to choose their path based on their interests, and many of the changes within the high school are the result of student passion. Innovation and collaboration lead the way in West Bloomfield schools. West Bloomfield School District is changing, from the elementary school all the way on up through the high school. Classrooms are being filled with collaborative furniture and media spaces to further promote an interactive curriculum and learning environment. The sense of family resonates throughout the hallways, into every classroom, and into the hearts and minds of every student and faculty member. West Bloomfield School District, educating students to be their best in and for the world.
Hey, I got to go. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Good to see you this morning right here on the Splash Live. Tyler Keefe coming up in a minute with the MegaCast, and I'll see you tomorrow morning right here, 9:30 a.m. on Civic Center TV. Have a great day.